Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It is me again, your favorite flight attendant. My name is Princilla. I am a New York-based flight attendant working with a major US airline company. And in today's video, I will be sharing with you all my flight attendant paycheck. We can never have enough conversation about flight attendant pay. But in today's video, I will be talking about the pay period between May 23rd, 2026 to June 5th, 2026. Mind you, before I continue that, although I am a 3-year flight attendant, I'm still currently on a 2nd-year flight attendant pay rate, which is $43.32. And secondly, the hours that we get paid at that $43.32 is our flight time pay. That is the actual time that we spend on the flight helping or serving our clients. That also translates into our flight time pay, which you're going to hear me say a lot of. The second part of our pay is the layover pay. That is the time aside from the flight time pay between signing in for our trip and getting released, our layover, everything in between. That is the layover pay as well. That is paid at an hourly rate of $3.30. The other pay rate that we have is the boarding pay rate, right? That is a premium pay that is set at my 2nd-year pay rate because that's where I'm currently at. And that's at $13.88 as well. So for this biweekly pay period, I actually worked 2 domestic 3-day trips, one on the 23rd of May and then the other one on 3rd June. Keep note that the other pay that I received during this period was hold-in pay. That is a time that we spend just in case we board the flight, we close the door and we're still delayed on the taxiway or the tarmac or whatever. That is hold-in pay. That is paid at an hourly rate of $15. So let's jump into it. Take note that the first 3-day trip that I worked on the 23rd, that was worth 17 hours and 11 minutes. And that 17 hours and 11 minutes, part of that pay or part of that trip fell in May. We got a pay raise in June that bumped my pay from $41.65 to $43.32. So the trip that I worked in May, which was the 23rd of May to the 25th of May, was before the pay raise. So that 17 hours and 11 minutes at a pay rate of $41.65 got me $715.69. The second 3-day trip that I worked was worth 14 hours and 28 minutes. And that was paid at the new pay rate because it was June at $43.32, which puts me at $626.70. All right, holding pay. I got holding pay. We had holding time of about 38 minutes. The pay rate is $15. So that put me at an extra pay of $9.50. That was my holding pay. Holiday pay, because the 25th of May was a holiday and the trip that I worked on the 23rd ended on the 25th. So I got holiday pay of $121.67. Boarding pay in total, based on all the flights that I worked, being paid at a pay rate of $13.88, I made $155.48 from boarding pay. Boarding pay is based on the flights that you board. So if you don't board the flight, if the flight gets canceled, you don't get that boarding pay. My time away from base, which is my layover pay, which is the time from when I sign in to when I get released from that rotation or that trip, I spent a total of 105 hours and 46 minutes. That is paid at a rate of $3.30, which puts me at $349.04. Please note that the 2 trips that I worked, the flight time or the credits of those trips, right? The flight time, once again, the time I spent serving our clients, that totaled up to 31 hours and 39 minutes. Bear in mind that if you're planning on becoming a flight attendant, those are the hours that will count towards your hours that you get. That is for your schedule. So let's say you want 100 hours, right? Although I spent 100 hours away from my base while on duty for this 2 sets of 3-day trips, those hours don't count towards my hours for the month when it comes to our schedules, right? The only thing that counts is your flight time. So that was the 31 hours and 39 minutes. So essentially, although in total I spent over 100 hours away from my home while on duty and working for 6 days straight, I'm only getting paid my $43.32 per hour only for the time that I spent on the aircraft. So when you hear us say we're getting paid $50 an hour, that's not the pay that covers the entire 3 days that we're away. It only covers that $50 an hour, or in my case, $43.32 only covers the time that I spent on the aircraft. Anything else beyond that is either boarding pay or layover pay, which has a much lower hourly pay rate. But it all adds up. So let's recap. The total amount that I made for the first trip on the 23rd of May was $715.69. That was my flight pay for that. The second flight pay for the second 3-day trip that I worked was $626.70. I earned $121 in holiday pay. Then I got $9.50 for holding pay plus boarding pay, which was $155.48, followed by my layover pay, which was $349.04. So in total, my gross pay for this rotation or for this 2-week period, I made $1,978.08. So I made almost $2,000 for working 2 domestic 3-day trips over a 2-week period. All right, so let's talk about the net pay. Okay, so after it was all said and done, forgive me guys, I am so tired. I'm in Germany right now, okay? And I just worked like a 7.5-hour flight to Germany from New York after commuting on a 10-hour flight the day before. So your girl is exhausted, but we're still pushing through, okay? We're still pushing through because the work must be done. We must get the work done. Although my gross pay was $1,978.08, after all my deductions and whatnot, right? I grossed at $1,491.14. So that is what I made over a 2-week period working for 6 days, essentially, because I did 2 sets of 3-day trips. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Was it worth my time? I made about $1,500 for working for 6 days. Is that worth my time? Let me know, but share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you do have any questions, or is there any specific angles or parts of our pay that you guys want me to focus on or delve deeper into, let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions with regards to that as well. Thank you for watching today's video, and I will certainly see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.